About 2 years ago now, I had a seizure while I was overseas. I was in the south of France, and I was walking along the sort of promenade, if you like, and I didn't know anything about it, and I found myself in a hospital. And I'd been found by some local sort of tourists whilst I was having a seizure. So it was all quite a bit of an oblivion for me, really. I didn't know what had happened, where I was, and I think that just emphasises that epilepsy can happen to anyone at any time, regardless of who you are, how you feel, or how fit you are. There was no history of it in my family, so it was, as I say, it was a bit of a shock for me. I think my initial feelings were, because I'm an adventurer, so for me it was, how is this going to affect my day-to-day life? And actually the biggest challenge was I lost my driving license for 12 months. I had to surrender my driving license. So personally, a lot of people told me, you can't do this, you can't do that, but actually I could still do pretty much everything, and I think that's an important message that most people with epilepsy can still live a very normal life. I think the driving was more of an inconvenience than a big problem, but actually it spurred me to go and get a bit fitter.
So how much did it affect your life at the time?
Yeah, it didn't affect my life drastically at all. I think a lot of it is mindset, like most things in life. I think if you approach it with a positive attitude, for me, the doctors, the nurses were telling me, you can't go and do this. It was just before I was about to set off to do my Running Dangerously project, actually, when I found out, and they told me I couldn't do it. It was too dangerous, it was too risky, it caused too much stress to my body, and that was a bit debilitating. It was quite depressing in some respects that they told me I couldn't do that. But actually, if you manage the risks right, if you approach it, as I say, with the right attitude, you can do most things still in life. And it was only the driving that was an inconvenience, but it certainly wasn't the end of the world by any means. I'm very fortunate and very honoured to be an ambassador for Epilepsy Action. Epilepsy is a serious condition. It's a neurological condition that affects around 600,000 people in the UK, which is almost 1 in every 100, and it can happen to anyone at any stage. So for me it's important, especially to show the children and the next generation, that it doesn't have to destroy your life in any way. I feel very fortunate that I've only ever had 2 seizures, so it's affected me a lot less than it's affected some people. It can be very serious in some cases, but for me it's about educating people. It's about showing them what they can do if they've got epilepsy. It's about showing others how they can support people with epilepsy. But Epilepsy Action do an incredible job, and as I say, I'm very proud to be one of their ambassadors.